Hey everyone, welcome to another Grim Dawn skill overview video guide. Today we're looking at Thermite Mines and their modifier Hellfire Mine. Thermite Mines are a high-level demolitionist skill, the text box. It drops a trio of small but deadly pyrotechnic charges that will sear enemies with intense jets of flames. The mines scale with player damage bonuses. So with the Thermite Mines, you throw these little mines on the ground, you can see them here. They will drop randomly, and we'll throw out a couple more. You have a limit of 6 total, so 2 casts of it. They'll live for 60 seconds. They sort of burn with an intense flame when enemies walk over them, and that's the flame jet ability. And it deals fire damage, hits them with the burn, reduces their fire resistance and lightning resistance. All of these increase as you increase the ability's level. Thermite Mine has one modifier, and that is Hellfire Mine. Half pyrotechnics, half alchemy. This lethal improvement to the Thermite Mine causes it to scorch enemies with unearthly flame that sears the very being. This adds on chaos damage to your Thermite Mines, reduces the chaos res, and increases the fire and burn damage of the default ability. So these are essentially fire chaos, but they can also work for a lightning build. They are what I would call an additional ability. They're an additional skill. You don't build around Thermite Mines, you work Thermite Mines into your build, and there are 2 reasons to do this. 1 is for that resistance reduction, and 2 is to proc devotion abilities. Thermite Mines can deal a bit of damage, but because enemies tend to run, it's rare for them to just sit in the mine for a really, really long time. So the damage they deal, if an enemy happens to just stand in the mines, or you throw them under the enemies after they've already stopped, they'll actually take quite a bit of damage from them. But you're mostly using them for the added bonus of resistance reduction, because that just needs to have the damage tick them once, and all 3 of these resistances are reduced on the target. So, in class synergies, all of them, no, I'm just kidding, but not really. All of them work. So Fire Strike. Fire Strike is all fire damage. You throw in lightning damage with Static Strike, and you get chaos damage with Brimstone. Thermite Mines and Hellfire Mines work with that. Blackwater Cocktail. It's fire damage. It's chaos damage, and then it's fire and chaos damage. Oh, look at that. Thermite Mine and Hellfire Mine meshes with that. Stunjacks is all lightning damage, with some physical and internal trauma. Oh, look at that. Thermite Mines are lightning resistance reduction. Canister Bomb has fire damage. And more fire damage. Oh, look at that. Thermite Mines also reduce fire resistance. Can I stop with this shtick, or should I go through with all of it? Yeah, high impact, fire, sky fire, granado, lightning, mortar traps, fire, heavy ordnance, lightning, the big one, more fire, and of course, fire and lightning. So these are definitely great for enhancing your other abilities. That's kind of what I use them for with my Aether Ray guy here. And we'll just look at the Sorcerer real quick. The obvious synergies. Kalidor's Tempest has fire damage in there. Albric's Aether Ray has fire damage in there. Devastation has fire damage in there. Oh, but also, Trojan Sky Shards has lightning damage in there. Also, if you get a Warp Fire, Trojan Sky Shards has fire damage in there. Oh, and also, Electric Splash Freeze can be changed to fire damage, in addition to reducing fire resistances even further. Whew. So, there's a lot. Oh, and Penetti's, of course, has fire damage. Not, like, just in there. It's part of the elemental damage. So, I think that's all of the abilities on the Arcanist side of the Sorcerer that benefit from Thermite Mines. Let's see, for a Pyro, so for a Pyromancer, if you've gone this deep, you're probably building around Fire Strike, I would imagine. And you want to use your Thermite Mines for the extra damage. And you're probably building some type of Gunner, because that's what I would build for a Pyromancer. And with that, Soleil's Witchfire and Second Right will add chaos damage to your main attacks and increase the % chaos damage of your attacks. So with that, specifically with Brimstone, you'll probably throw out, your 6 mines and then just pepper in your Brimstone attacks, enhanced by Soleil's Witchfire and Possession. And Doombolt, also synergizes with the mines. He's got to make sure you watch what gets hit by them, and then you doom bolt those things to deal more damage to them. Also, the Hellhound deals fire damage and chaos damage. So the Hellhound can benefit from the reductions in that Hellfire Mines have. And yeah, they're all fire chaos, so that actually works out. But the Summon Familiar deals lightning damage. And you're mostly thinking of the Lightning Strike, or at least I think of the Lightning Strike when I think of the Familiar's damage. So yeah, that is affected by the Thermite Mine half. Also, Vulnerability will weaken elemental resistance and thus enhance the damage of the Thermite Mines, so you can kind of get a feedback loop going into there. And I think that's it for the Pyro. So the Elementalist, you can use it with Savagery. You can use it with Primal Strike. However, I don't think that's how you should be using it with an Elementalist. And don't worry, you'll see this build on the channel eventually. You take your Thermite Mines and you throw them out next to your Storm Totems, and while your Wind Devils are out. And with, say, Heavy Ordnance going on. So you use your mines next to all of your other totem things to sort of play a tower defense game. So when the enemies run through the Thermite Mines, they'll take that negative 50% lightning resistance penalty, on top of getting burned. Then they'll be running through things, more things presumably, which means they will run through your Storm Totems, or run near your Storm Totems in this case, and get lightning bolted by them. Or they'll have a Wind Devil on them and get maelstromed. It's a little random, but when things line up, and believe me, with all the crap you can throw out, they'll line up a lot, you'll be doing a lot of damage to them with all of your tower defense items. And also stun jacks. So yeah, this is a pretty fun build for people that like to throw things out and just let the enemies kill themselves essentially as they run through it all. It's something I had to perfect a little bit before I show the full build, but trust me, it works pretty well. And I do recommend it if you're heavy on throwing out your Thermite Mines. If you like things like Thermite Mines, then this build you'll definitely want to look into for throwing out a ton of just totemic turret fun stuff. All right, so given that there are no real items synergies for Thermite Mines, we're just going to jump into Devotion. And the big old Devotion constellation I highly recommend you put on your Thermite Mines is Meteor Shower. Because, as I mentioned way in the beginning of the video, Thermite Mines, one of the reasons to take them beyond the resistance reduction is to proc Devotion abilities, and they proc them really, really well. Blackwater Cocktail and Thermite Mines are two of the best just proccers for Devotion abilities in the game. And I do highly recommend, if you're building a fire build, to pick up Meteor Shower and throw it on the Thermite Mines. You'll get a lot of Meteor Showers out of this. Pretty much, you meet a group of enemies, throw your mines down, and you'll get meteors on top of it. So aside from that, really anything you want procced, you can put on them. You can put your Aether Fire on them, you can put your Flame Torrent on them, you can put your Fissure on them, you can put, where is it? Soleil's Witchblade. Yeah, Soleil's Witchblade, I said it right. You can put on Thermite Mines, and you'll get more damage out of the proc and more resistance reduction when it hits. And let's see, fire stuff. I think I would say that's it. Because really, Thermite Mines, like I said, you're using them to proc Devotion abilities. And actually, no, you can't put them on there. You could also use it for chaos abilities. And this would be like Flame Torrent. We'll proc off of this. So Flame Torrent, I think, is just directly around you. Yeah, you'll get the Flame Torrent proc, but it's around you, not around your mines. Hungering Void does not proc off of it. I don't... can't do the dead. Raise the dead. Yeah, those are all the ones I'd go for, I think. Oh, you cannot use them to get your seers. So, no elemental seekers for you with that. I mean, yeah, you could put acid spray on it, but I wouldn't do that. Unless you're doing a really, really, really weird build. Yeah, I think I've pointed out all of the really good ones to attach to Thermite Mines. It's a really great skill for proccing those things. So, Thermite Mines, you throw out 6 little discs on the ground. When the enemies touch them, they explode in these flame torrents and flame jets, and they're really good. They work with almost any build that is fire, lightning, or chaos based, or any combination of those 3 elemental types. They're great for sorcerers, they're great for pyromancers, and they're great for elementalists. Beyond that, for the saboteur, there are much better builds, much better abilities to use, and for the... And they might actually not be bad when you're doing a commando. Because with the commando, you're running like Fire Strike with the defenses from the soldier, so throwing the Thermite Mines in to up your damage is not a bad option. But yeah, I really do recommend them if you're going really deep on the Sorcerer combo to pick them up, because they will just enhance whatever you're doing. Same with the Elementalist, and same with the Pyromancer. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this Grim Dawn skill overview video, and I will see you guys next time.